what do you make of Giroud on comms?
Oh yeah, people are really annoyed about him, aren't they?
I think it's more like he takes quite a long time to make his point, and I don't think it's a language barrier. It's just like you haven't had the appropriate training to be like, we've got about 3 minutes here. Get to the point.
So what does he do? I don't think I've actually seen him pundit.
If you were to ask me, okay, what did you make? Let's say, what did you make of England that first? I'd be like, well, there were some times during the first half where England, there were three.
Okay, I'm bored.
Right.
Yes, guys, welcome back to The Knockabout on TDK Plus, and welcome back to Laura Kirk.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We have no producer today.
Yeah, we're clapping an empty
train
studio. It feels
disaster.
good.
How are you?
I'm good. It's nice and cool in here.
Oh, it's nice.
Straight
saying,
into the weather chat.
Why are we doing a podcast? We should be starting an air conditioning business.
We really should, yeah. How much would you pay for like a little box that you could just pop by your bed, turn on for a couple of hours? Because this is the problem with it. I see them and I'm like, oh, I know it's 300 quid, but it's good investment, but it's still 300 quid.
So your thing is like making it look chic?
Yes.
What would I pay for that? But it wouldn't be if you could somehow make the technology.
Yeah.
Like it could have the same effect, but be a small box that you just turn on, conditions the room. What would I pay for that? A couple, like 500-600 quid.
Yeah, I agree. And it would just work. And also maybe it would have a heating like side of it as well. So for winter, it could also heat the room.
Should we just turn the cameras off?
Yeah.
If anyone in the comments can help with that, we've just created a £1 million business.
Also, Stephen Bartlett, if you're watching, no.
Why does everyone hate him so much?
We don't have enough time for this today. We do not have enough time for this today.
The misinformation angle, I get. And like there's people on this podcast sometimes that I'm like, do you know who Graham Hancock is?
Yeah, why do I know that name?
He's like an architect.
Yeah.
No, not an architect, like an archaeologist guy. And he's all about like, forgotten civilizations and all these sorts of things. What he's saying, I have no access point to what he's saying. I have no idea. I would love to hear someone challenge him. And I think the problem is, so I get it from this angle in the sense that like he's saying all these things and how mainstream archaeology is wrong, but there's no one there to like challenge him.
Yeah.
And Stephen like kind of can't because he has no access point. So I get that. And then that means millions of people hear it and like it could be wrong. I actually don't know, to be honest. And maybe someone in the comments can tell me. Other than that, what is it? Is it the Huel?
I think if you actually read his origin story and how he became what he is now, he has really exaggerated his involvement in certain companies.
Okay.
So if you look at actually the companies that he claims to have sold for 300 million, not correct, right? He sold them for, again, it feels silly to nitpick here, but if your entire spiel is that you're this entrepreneur, I think it's, no one's going to be like, oh, you only made 5 million. That's still incredible.
Yeah, it's still a really good achievement.
But he says 300.
Okay.
And that's where I'm like, you're selling a lie.
Right.
My biggest issue is the one that you've just said, though, which is you have an enormous platform, but you are not a skilled, trained journalist in the same way that we aren't either, right?
No.
People work for years and study for years to be able to interrogate someone appropriately to stop misinformation. Whereas he just lets people have a completely free run at it on a massive platform. And he deliberately invites people who say things like, so-and-so gives you cancer.
Right.
Is linked to autism.
Right.
But he's not equipped to challenge them appropriately. It's just their sensationalism. And for me, that is so much more offensive than anything else he does.
I actually really hear that. I think before I would have, maybe before this, my opinion would have been something like, well, people can kind of make up their own mind. But that, when you have millions of people listening, there comes a point where you need to be like, I need to ensure this information is correct.
Basically, the reason that he can kind of go unchecked is because podcasting is not regulated in the same way as like...
And damn it should be.
Damn it should be, yeah. People should be able to challenge us and be like, actually, the field tilt was this and it wasn't this. But they can't.
Like so a tennis challenge when you're watching.
Yeah, he can be like, that's rubbish. Whereas he can kind of go unchecked. And as you say, he's got millions of people listen to that who use that as like a kind of bastion of truth. And that's how we have people who, don't vaccinate and have these crazy views about health, is because they're like, oh, well, I've heard it on this podcast because he interviewed an expert. But they don't then go and actually, if I look at this person's credentials, yada, yada, yada. So what start this has been.
Yeah, England, Ghana. We will talk about football in a second. I have this thing, though, with health that I find really interesting is that, like, so I had acupuncture, like, a year and a half ago. And the guy who did it has such a fascinating view on health around like symptoms and what symptoms are saying to you. And like his argument is basically like, we would accept on a surface level that stress impacts the body, right? Like we would accept that like when we're stressed, I don't know whether you get like a headache or a backache or like when you're angry, your face goes red or whatever. So you accept on like, kind of like a surface level, your emotions impact your body. But I'm just laughing at the fact that we're talking about this on the Knockabout. But what we don't accept is like the next level down, the idea that like long-term chronic things are also emotionally linked. And I was like, yeah. And like, so, you know, I literally am doing the exact thing I'm talking about Stephen Bartlett and saying things I don't know anything about. But I am interested in this idea of like, and I kind of want to make a documentary about it, like this Western view of health versus like the Eastern view of health, which is much more down that line. So then it's difficult because then you get someone on a podcast like that, and like a lot of what they're saying is super interesting. And then there's that corner of it that's like, okay, that isn't true.
Yeah, that's not true.
And then it's like,
that's not true.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Yeah. I think it's all about having a bit of balance with it.
Yeah.
And I think with health, I also fall into a bit of the camp that if you think something works for you, then it works for you, right? I genuinely believe in, like, if you think a cream that you've put on your face gives you less wrinkles and you look in the mirror and you think it's giving you less miracles, that cream works for you. It's the kind of blanket approach, sensationalism, which sounds like, to be fair, the person you went to see, like, they've not got a massive platform. That's the issue with it. It's like completely unchecked to millions of people who don't have and don't need to be able to have the time to interrogate everything that's given to them.
So Thomas Tuchel.
Yes,
we'll talk about Arsenal,
yeah.
but we are sat here after the England and Ghana game. Who would have thought, Laura, that playing Rice and Bellingham between the lines against a low block, playing, I counted them, 9 right-footers, including 3 on the left, and then when the game turns into set pieces, not bringing on your set piece guys in Tony and Byrne, wouldn't work. Who would have thunk?
I, for one, am shocked. That we didn't come away from that game with a shot on target in the first half. I am shooketh by watching that.
Do you subscribe to the idea that England will be better against non-low block teams? Because I kind of buy that. Like I look at the squad, I look at like Rodgers and Rashford, I like Eze, like Kane, a lot of these guys that I think are more effective when there's more space.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, Ghana had a very clear game plan. Like, fair enough. I think Madueke was like triple teamed multiple times during the first half. The bit where I'm like, okay, well, if that's going to happen, where's the free man? Because there has to be one, and we just didn't do that. I think we also just didn't do some of the basics right, which is such a generic thing to say, but like, if you're going to do set pieces, the delivery needs to be good. And I think some of them were really, really poor. So by that stage of the game...
How dare you criticise Declan?
I'm sorry, but like, you've got to beat the first man. And there are a few times he didn't. Curious one, because I think there's been a lot of chitter-chatter now about, was that the right game for Foden, Palmer, yada, yada, yada. I think the people that came off the bench were more than... There's more than enough quality there. Like, Rodgers, I think, actually looks quite good. But... I think England are going to have to get used to that, because teams will look at that and go, that's a blueprint of how to stop this England team. And we also looked shaky at the back. Very shaky. I have no idea how a penalty wasn't given as well.
Yeah, that Konza one was insane.
Wildness.
The last time you were on the Knockabout, we had a bizarre interaction after we left the studio where we bumped into one James Carragher.
We did,
Did we not, on the tube?
Yes.
And this morning I saw, as you're saying there, James's article about how we're missing Foden and Palmer, and I completely agree with you. Like, Eze is a player who works between the lines. Like, Saka, I think, can work in all sorts of combinations. I don't think the answer is we should have taken Foden and Palmer. I just don't think that was the team for us to play in this current iteration. And I think we basically just changed it too late. It took to like 65, 70 minutes. And then we were all over them. I mean, we were all over them possession-wise for a long time. But like, I don't think it's such an easy thing when you have like a bit of a performance like that to go, well, it's like the whole thing, with Arsenal, like, the player who's injured becomes the best player in the world. Yeah. Mikel Merino was the best player in the world.
One area we missed him. We should have kept him. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Very, very good point on Ethan. I think sometimes like players like that get overrated, unfair, but it's seen like their qualities would be the thing. The only person I'd look at is maybe Adam Wharton. Do you know my opinion on Elliot Anderson?
Tell me.
No, good if you don't. What's your opinion on Elliot Anderson?
Very good. I think the price tag with which he is being associated is insane. I think him and Rice is a bit of a difficult watch. So I'm sort of gently leaning into the very good player, not quite convinced around the hype. That's where I sit. How about you?
Exactly my opinion.
Is it?
So you're right. because I have the same opinion. Yeah, and it's that thing of like, I think he's a brilliant ball recoverer. I've had this thing for like a while where I've been like, good, but like good?
Yeah, good.
Really good?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's obviously stamina, physicality, like but putting him next to Rice, as you say, it's kind of one and the same thing. And I remember seeing this thing like maybe like March or so when like all the hype was coming about miscontrols in the Premier League. He's right out there because he's so busy. He's always in and around. He's always tackling and running back and whatever. Like the ball's bouncing around a lot. And I think someone like, and then what my point is more like the only person I'd maybe agree with from the Carragher article is Wharton, because I go, okay, that's more of like a profile balance. Or to be honest, Miles, especially with the left foot.
I think we were crying out for a bit of Miles.
We were, and like, so yeah, sorry to do exactly the thing I said we shouldn't do, but like I do that I agree with, but only from a balance perspective.
It's fine we do it as an Arsenal player.
That's absolutely fine.
That's fine.
We're allowed to do that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Wharton or Miles, just for that slight more quality on the ball, that quality receiving under contact, those sorts of things.
I think as well, we need to calm ourselves slightly, lest we get overexcited because we won our first game and swing the other way with this one. That we are now, I believe...
Qualified.
We've qualified.
So.
That's the 13th 0-0 draw we've had in a World Cup, which is a record.
You're never seeing that.
Yeah, what a trophy that is. But
a trophy.
What I mean is, though, I think we perhaps should have prepared ourselves that for these group games, against a low block, and there were at times like 5 or 6 in that back line for Ghana, it's completely fine for us to have trouble breaking them down. It's not the end of the world. The thing that worries me slightly is, I think you're right, when the subs came on, they made a huge difference. I think Saka looked quite good. If you flip that on its head, they've got a very busy schedule if they get through, right? What that says to me is that the Madueke Gordon on the wing doesn't work. Saka has nowhere near 90 minutes in it. So say we get to the quarterfinals and we've got 90 minutes against, I don't know who it could be, Brazil, for example. At some point, we are going to have to bring on probably Gordon, probably Madueke, once they've got tired. That is a problem for me. Big problem.
Gordon.
Newcastle are going, no refunds.
Yeah, the thing is like...
I think it's harsh after one performance.
Yeah, and I also think... It's difficult, isn't it? When I see the hype, like I do get like I think when I remember being at the Emirates for the Newcastle game at the end of 24-25 and watching him transition. And sometimes like, you know this, like, where'd you see?
I remember the same because he's on my side of the pitch when they are attacking our North Bank.
So I was sat like up, like I was doing the Live from N5 thing and they sit you like end on. And so I watched him sprint a lot and I was like, oh my goodness, like that's something I haven't seen in a while in a player. So I get it from that perspective. I think he's super intense and like really, really works hard. And like the counter pressing, like he's really in there. I get it from that perspective. It feels to me like he's a player who maybe needs players around him. It felt like he needed like an overlap or something. I'm not really commenting on the price, but like, I guess my point is I love Marcus Rashford. That's my point. Yeah. I just love him.
Yeah.
And I've said this so many times on the show.
Would you take him Arsenal?
No.
Would you take him Arsenal?
So here's a couple of years ago, and people will know this and they'll be literally like, shut up about Rashford. I made a whole video on the channel.
This is your channel.
I made it.
You say whatever you like.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
Thanks,
make a video yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Laura.
Yeah.
I made a video and I was like, at the time, it was like 24, 25-ish around then, where he was like, we could have got it for like 20 million. It was like a rumour he was ready for like 20 million or something. His stock was so low. And I was like, he's hit 30 goals in a season. the whole thing at that time was like the power, the ball striking, the pace, all those sorts of things. He can play centre forward and off the left. I don't think we should sign Rashford this summer, like over like a Vinny or a Barcola. I think that the ship has sailed. I don't think he's right. But for 40 mil, the way he's spoken about compared to what he is, I really struggle with. I
honestly think some of it is how he is viewed at Man United. I think it's kind of seeped into other fan bases because they kind of fell out of love with him because of comments and phrases that were used about his work ethic and off the pitch and stuff. And I think if you're not a fan of that club, that's the kind of propaganda that you get. So you're like, well, I wouldn't want him at my club, etc. And you kind of just completely ignore the fact that he's still a sensational player. Like, incredible. And you're just like, oh, well, he's probably past it and, maybe he's a little bit lazy, doesn't want to track back and maybe his attitude's not right. It's like, you don't know that. You don't know that. That's Man United fans who I think used him as a bit of a scapegoat.
And I always, environment is king. Environment is king. And if you've got a bad environment, we all know that feeling of turning up to work and no one's working, you don't like your co-workers, it's that sort of thing. You're not going to do your best work. When you're in a high-performance environment, sorry to Jake come through this.
Have you done your world-class basics today?
Have I, Jake?
Yeah.
I also love that he doesn't get... Have you seen those things where it's like, I don't understand why people criticise it. Someone is sitting down. Anyway, when you're in those kind of environments, it does change how you operate. Anyway, I'm going to get off my Rashford train. Hand of Arsenal, Laura. Theory on who he is?
Ooh, I mean, he's the kind of male version of Gossip Girl. He's XOXO Gossip Girl, which I love. I think you've needed one for a while. That's me assuming it is a man, to be fair.
Yes.
It could be a woman.
It's unlikely.
I'd say unlikely.
I think women are too smart to put this level of like this is his life.
I don't want to tar every woman with the same brush that I'm about to, but I can't keep a secret. I would have told people who I was years ago, but I would have done it like, don't tell anyone, but I'm Hand of Arsenal. And then it would have gone through the group chats and it would have come out somewhere. So
maybe it is you.
Do you think
Imagine
if I had access to Calafiori, I'd be out of that job like you would not believe. No, I think it's someone within maybe the commercial department, maybe someone sort of admin who does things like raises POs, but from that point of view that you might also be quite close to like transfers and things.
What's that?
A PO, like a purchase order. So if the club needs to if you're going to pay for something, you've never worked in an office, have you?
This is your Juliet slot.
Oh my gosh. The people in the comments who work in offices will know about raising a PO. It's how you pay business to business. Okay. So I wonder if it's someone who does things like that, maybe, when they used to fax each other stuff for transfers, booking in medicals, that kind of thing. I wonder if he's...
I buy that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I buy that.
Who do you think it is?
I don't know, but I'm certain the club know about it. And I'm certain the club give them information.
Yeah.
And because we know, Josh doesn't wear that T-shirt of Gabriel and Saliba. The guy knows. The guy, and should know, by the way. He's admitted he goes through social media, and he should, because you need to know what people are thinking. You need to take it with a pinch of salt at times, but you need to see what is being said about you as a club. I'm certain they've commissioned it.
I agree, because it's also a very good story. People love Hand of Arsenal.
Love Hand of Arsenal, and it's good information.
It's good information, so I think it's very much within the club's... it works for them to have someone as an anonymous but ultimately force for good. Yeah. It's like having a Batman. Yeah. Throw up the Hand of Arsenal beamer. Yeah. We just need one over the city now. Yeah. It's like an Ornstein bomber, but it's a Hand of Arsenal thing in the sky.
Well, Hand of Arsenal needs a thing like an Orn bomb. Yeah. A hand bomb? That doesn't know.
Easy.
Careful.
Easy.
Julian Alvarez update. If you remember, I stated there was another attacker. I chose to keep anonymous. That player was indeed Julian Alvarez. The player's dream is Barca. Basically, you can go read it. But essentially, he'd be open to us, but his dream is Barca. There's basically Atletico have an interest in Victor Gyokeres, and there might be something about a bit of a swap deal plus cash. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on Alvarez? Thoughts on that? Thoughts on Gyokeres? Thoughts on anything, Laura?
Right. Well, if Alvarez's dream is Barcelona, we can shut this thing down now.
Are you in the camp of if you don't choose Arsenal?
No, I think that's very petty. I think it's absolutely fine for a player to have a kind of preference. But there's so many things, as you said, environment, there's so many other things that go into the deal. Really tricky one, because I really like the player. I remember him when he played sort of second fiddle to Haaland, really. And I think outside of any other context, I'd be like, well, obviously, yes. My question would be, though, what problem is he solving that we kind of have at the moment? For me, he's more of a Gabby Jesus type figure than a Gyokeres one. So I'm a bit like, could we not have both? Swap deals, I think, are quite rare. And the figures that we're hearing about what that cash is going to be is like Gyokeres and 50 million. And it's like, no, that's not happening. So I kind of flip from being like, he's a superstar, he's played in the Premier League before, and we struggled with goals, etc. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not sure as a profile whether we would have him and then go, actually, we still need like a really classic centre forward. That's kind of where I sit. Basically, to sum up, it depends.
Everything depends. I saw some. I think you're right. Like I think with Alvarez, there was some stats that Scott Willis
It's not
did.
as a slam dunk as I think people originally thought it was, but I still would love the player.
I agree. I can't find the stats. I was going to put them on screen. Anyway, I'll find them. I'll put them on screen. Basically, I think Alvarez. We did a scout on him on TDK, so go check it out if you want to go look at him in more detail. But broad strokes, he's a facilitator, as you say, Gabby Jesus, number 9, whose best work comes dropping out of the space, jumping into, dropping out, coming into. Like Jesus is a really good comparison. I think he's a much better ball striker. I think he's a much better finisher. Like he's got like free kicks and stuff in his box. He arguably, no, he wouldn't replace Rice, because I was going to say because he's right footed, but like he's close. Like in terms of his deliveries and stuff, he's really, really good. Maybe from like deep sometimes. But yeah, he's a football generator. Let's put it that way. But I feel like we have a lot of those. Yeah. We have Havertz, we have Eze, we have like players who you feel like can make something happen. I want finishers. And I'm not saying, if we signed Barcola and Rodgers, again, are they like the 30 goal a season, whatever? Whatever you think of Gyokeres, I can't believe I'm about to say this and defend Gyokeres. People know my criticisms of Gyokeres. He gets goals. He finishes. He's a finisher. And like, I don't love what he brings to the team because I think we look worse with him, but he finishes his chances. And if you take that out of the squad, maybe that's what it is. If it was Alvarez without this conversation about Gyokeres going, I'd probably be like, cool.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But with Gyokeres leaving, it feels like we're adding more facilitation rather than just bagsman, which Gyokeres definitely is. Even if he's not right at the top level, we need something like that in the squad. So, yeah, it's a weird one.
I think you also have to add into the equation the possibility, although it's hypothetical, that Gyokeres actually does crack on next season. I don't think you can rule out, again, this is purely speculation, that I think Gyokeres finished the season quite well, that he's now had time to bed in, had time to get used to how we play, yada, yada, yada. He's got his girlfriend back, etc. That actually from next season we see more of what we wanted from him. Unfortunately, I think quite a lot of the evidence suggests that isn't in there. But that's not to say that we couldn't get another 25% improvement out of him, which would mean more goals. So I think you have to consider as well that we're not just talking about the player that Gyokeres is now. You're basically saying, not only do I not want him in his current guise, but I don't believe he can crack on. Yes. And that's kind of up for the club to decide, really.
Yeah, and I kind of am interested to see what he does next season. Am I mad for quite liking our centre-forward options?
No.
Gyokeres and Havertz. Like, I think, like, Gyokeres, certainly to finish off games in many different contexts, he's very different from Havertz. And a fit Kai Havertz, I'll keep banging on this drum, there's 3 or 4 centre-forwards better than him in the world. I'm sorry, than a fit Kai Havertz. It's like Haaland, Kane, that tier. He's not in that tier, I'm not saying he is. But that next tier down, the sort of, I don't know what would be the Watkins tier, he's definitely in there. Definitely. So, am I putting hundreds of millions, basically, whether you do it Gyokeres plus cash or whatever, into signing an Alvarez who the best stuff he does is a lot, it's different from Havertz. I think it's a lot more central. Havertz maybe drifts out to the side. But a lot of Alvarez is give and go, it's facilitation. Again, occupying those central spaces. And I have this debate with George all the time about like, or his best thing, if you put Saka's best quality, put him inside. Rodgers' best quality, put him inside. Ez's best quality, put him inside. Odegaard's best quality, put him inside. Havertz's best quality, put him. We're all going to be sitting on top of each other. We need players who can stretch and their best quality is out to in, and that's why I'm looking at the left wing. If I'm putting that kind of fund allocation into the team, that's where I want it on the width.
That's my problem with Morgan Rodgers, to be fair, is that we all just end up.
Person.
I like him, and I love the idea of stealing Villa's best player, just for the vibes. But for me, the profile, I would put him along with those names that you just listed, which is like you all kind of just want to stand on the edge of the box, slightly towards the centre, but we can't all do that.
Yeah.
One of you needs to hug the touchline.
Someone.
I
think that's why Madueke is looking really good for England, because he's one of the only players who's like actually willing to just go and stand on the touchline and do some good work.
He's trying. I was fighting for my life defending him this morning because everyone was like, it's Madueke. I was like, it's not Madueke.
They were blaming Madueke.
Of all the players, I can't believe he's wearing an England shirt. I'm like, of all the players England who struggled last night, Madueke, really?
Not having that.
Not having that.
Sorry.
No, leave him alone.
No. Yeah, it's a lot of like, it's like that thing, like I think you can get through in life not being particularly good at what you do, but just being really nice.
Wow, I wasn't sure where that was going.
Do you know what I mean?
I completely agree.
And I think like you could be like, and you know, some people might argue that's what I'm doing, but you know, just be nice to people. You're not actually that good at what you do, but you know, you're just nice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm looking at the touchline. I'm going like, if you can affect the game, if you're willing to work with the width, everyone wants to collapse inside. Everyone wants those central spaces. And it's about who we're committing to. I think Alvarez would make, like, he's one of the best in there, but if you've got Rodgers and Eze, etc., what's your position on Eze? I've been realising that it feels like a bit like everyone, you know, that moment where in a friendship group where everyone goes, they're a bit weird, aren't they? And everyone goes, yeah, I've always thought they're a bit weird. I feel like everyone's having that moment with Eze, where it's like, that season wasn't like what we all expected.
Yeah.
Right? And we're expecting more.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people go, oh, but he's, you know, contributed massively, the goals against Spurs, etc. I think when the dust has settled, you'd go, that was 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I want 8 or 9. And
Take the Spurs games out.
And I've seen 8 or 9 from at Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
I want Eze from the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Not the Eze that's kind of in bit parts had a massive impact. To be completely honest as well, for England, I'd completely forgotten. Eze's on the bench. I was like, oh my God, Eze can come on. But I think some of that, to be fair, is you come with a huge expectation, completely new way of playing. We play with a lot of the ball. Crystal Palace don't, etc., etc. I would put him in the same camp as Gyokeres, which is there has to be a price on which you say, right, you've got another at least 20% more to give, more consistency.
Brilliant. Transition. I've got a game for you, Laura.
Oh, gosh.
My friend Piers, hi Piers, sent me this the other day, and I think it's actually a really good way of kind of assessing the squad. And the question is, I've got all the fees that we paid for every single player. I did this with George on the squad the other day. And I'm going to ask you, would you take the fee that we paid for the player now? So, for example, we paid 31 million for Raya. Would you take that? Obviously not.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through the squad.
Okay, yeah.
And it's in euros from Transfermarkt.
Okay, right. It's basically the same now, isn't it? Close enough.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right, okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
David Raya, 31 million euros. No chance.
Immediately, 100 million.
Yeah, what is the fee?
I'm not joking. No.
100 million.
What is it, 75 for a goalkeeper? A really good goalkeeper? Who's the most expensive goalkeeper ever?
This is the thing, it's like with Rice, it's like, even if you give me 300 million, I don't know who's better. So like,
it'd be wasted
it's just
money.
a downgrade.
Yeah.
I think, you know, if you think there's a realistic chance of getting like Garcia or something like that.
Still no.
Yeah, still no.
Priceless.
Unai Simon's better. Kepa, 5.8 million euros.
I'll pay 5.8 million to have him.
He's not that bad.
From my club.
He's not that bad. Come on.
Alex, please.
Getting a death stare.
Alex, please. You really had one job and you failed at it twice. You had one job.
Do you not think he's quite a good second choice?
No. Unreliable. Next.
Ben White, 58.5 million euros.
Yes, please.
So George said no.
You're not getting anywhere near that.
58 points. So the argument he puts forward is for the, and I hear this, but only to a certain price point. And I think my price point is about 30 mil.
Yeah.
Is for the versatility. Like he is probably, if Saliba, I'm not even going to say it. If something happened at centre back, I probably would want White there, a fit and informed Ben White
but that's the caveat. It's the fitness, I think, that I have the problem with. That's why I would knock 20 million off it, because you're like, you can't stay fit. And I think you're coming towards the twilight era of your career.
He's 28.
He's 28. Messi's 39. 38, 39. Yeah.
What's the difference? I think I'd take 58.5 mil.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Timber, 40 million.
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Saliba, 30 million.
No.
Absolutely not. Gabriel, 26 million.
Oh, no.
I've been slandered ruthlessly by the comments for my opinions on Gabriel. My position on Gabriel is this. At nearly 29, which, as you say, is basically dead.
Basically dead.
Pretty much dead. Yeah. If Saudi came in with like a ridiculous £100 million offer, what would it take for Gabriel?
I can see that argument, though, because I think there are some very good centre-backs out there.
And you'd see more of Calafiori.
Yes, which you can't put a price on. However, I don't know. Think how long it can take to bed in a centre-back partnership like that. I think that's what you have to consider, is like, it's not just the player himself, it's the relationship he's built with Saliba, how that impacts the rest of the team. So I think that price point, yes, you'd like okay, I'll go into the market, have a look at who's on offer, but the aspect of the partnership is like, that's probably another season bedding in, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a weird one talking about this, because people get the moment you start going, I'm open to an offer, people go, what?
Yeah.
So, hang on. Gabriel, to me, as you say, the partnership with Saliba, like he's one of the best centre backs in the world. Period. End of story. But is he perfect for every single game state we play? In my opinion, no. And so to be literally untouchable in the team, you need to be the world's best in your position.
Do you not think he is the world's? But I would argue that I think he's up.
I think at what he did, but for me in possession, particularly at points last season, he limited us, and that's literally like 10 games a season. Yeah. It's really not that much. So I'm talking huge figures. I'm looking at the age. I'm looking at, but then then you talk, as you say, the partnership. You can't put a price on, like what the compliment he has with Saliba. Some people will be like, you can't even talk about this, but I also don't think it's arguable to say there are games in a season where I go, if you had Saliba and Calafiori, I think we look better.
I think dynamic. Yeah,
I think we can build through teams a lot better. We don't have to go long as much. Gabriel is unbelievable at what he does, but there is just a little bit of a limitation on him in possession. There always has been, and that's fine. Like, it's okay. He doesn't have to be Van Dijk. So that's my position on Gabriel. It's literally just a couple of games a season where I go, I think I'll probably go with Calafiori. Which means I hate him. I want to sell him. Mosquera, 15 million.
Nope.
Price for Mosquera? Someone comes in?
How old's Mosquera? He's young.
22?
Yeah, I'd be slapping 50 million on that. No?
No, I
maybe more.
I made this. I did a transfer, like a whole sort of transfer window video last week, and a lot of people were like, how can you even countenance selling Mosquera? And this is one of my things about, I won't bang on about this, I know I've said this so many times, people. We're aiming to beat the best clubs in the world. So if you're not the best player in your position in the world, or almost guaranteed to get there, which I think Mosquera is brilliant, but I see technical flaws, we have to be open to sale. Yeah. Or, no, I'm not selling him, that's fine. You can't then complain that we don't sell very well.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to want to sell a player for a really good price that you're completely comfortable doing. Yeah, it's just not a thing.
I think with Mosquera at like 50, 60 million, you'd go, what the price that I'm getting there is to effectively skip him forward a few years and go, I'm going to bring in him, but where he'd be in 3 years' time. Yeah. I've not got time to wait for that. Yeah. So I need the next version of him. And 60 million might get you that.
Little buyback clause or something. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Nkapie, 52 million euros.
Ooh, is that what we bought? Is that the fee? Gosh, that's higher than I thought it was. Possibly for the same reasons we've just said, but I still think I would want a bit more than that. I wouldn't let him go for that. I think he's important to Arsenal.
I want to see another year.
Yeah.
I want to see another year. I think the beginning of the season. I think Clive has this phrase that I love using. It's like how you walk in the room matters, and I think he walked in the room and everyone went,
yeah.
And he's changed the perception, but I just think he needs another season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started quite chaotic and in a way that made me nervous to watch him, and I think I've not had long enough for that to completely leave my system.
Calafiori, 43.7 million. Calafiori, 900 million.
Right, actually, if I'm going to be actually serious about this, right, because he was linked with Real Madrid. I think we said no, they've got Gyokeres now, fine. To your point around his versatility, I think we look a lot better going forward with him. Even in a centre-back partnership, he's better. When he's at full-back, he's never there. He's all over the place, which is good. What was the price you said for?
43.7 million.
No, still probably no. But again, you'd have to go, right, if someone comes in at 100 million, you'd maybe be open to a sale. However, I think he is a very unique profile in the game, of which we do not see at the moment. So I would be really keen to hang on to him, or be like, it's going to be so much money.
It would have to be 100 mil or more to even think about it. Because it's difficult, isn't it? Because objectively, his availability hasn't been that great, but he's so good, and so handsome.
Also, we need to slap on like a 20% pretty privileged tax.
I'm sorry, I'm not, and I'm no, but it helps the brand, like genuinely.
Genuinely, like sorry.
Marzo Skelly, free.
Wow.
No. Zubamendi, 70 million euros.
Ooh.
It's good this, because I was
really
like,
ooh. It's a really good way of thinking about it, because you're like, have I got that value out of the player? Would I get that back? Is there anyone else in the market that I could use that money for? I really like Zubamendi. I really do. And I think our view of him has been tainted by a couple of like iffy, squiffy bits, but the difference he made to us at the, really struggling my words today, iffy, squiffy.
I also liked earlier you said chitter chatter.
Chitter chatter.
You need one more. Chitter chatter, iffy, squiffy.
Okay. Can
we get dilly dally in at some point?
Yeah, dilly dally.
Cool.
Zubamendi dilly dallying on the ball. Right.
See, this is what has created this genius.
This is why they don't pay me the big bucks.
This is why TalkSport are straight in there.
The dilly dallying on the ball. 70 million is a lot.
Yeah,
that is a lot. But then I think of, again, the profile that he is, not comparable. But if you look at like Elliot Anderson going for 120 million, I know that's a different kind of profile of player, but that's kind of in the region of what midfielders cost these days. So I think that would be too cheap.
I can't get out of my head that every club in Europe wanted him last summer, and we got him for 70 mil. Well, 62 million pounds, whatever it is.
You animal.
But, well, it was kind of Jason Ato, apparently, who kind of closed the deal. Who's now left Brighton. You've seen?
Is he?
Yeah. No one cares.
No one cares about Brighton. Fabian Hertzer, sorry to derail this, running his mouth about Arsenal. Again, talking about England, comparing them to Arsenal. Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Living rent-free in his head.
I think there's a lot of recency bias in Zubamendi. I think he's different than what people expected. Certainly what I expected. But I just, as you said, the iffy squiffy bits have kind of left the taste in our mouth. I think if we sign like a Buadi or whatever this summer, weirdly, it might help him because it allows him to define himself a little bit differently with someone else,
give
a little bit more
rest.
time off.
Yeah,
different partners, different relationships. Him and Miles will be interested in seeing, you know what I mean? Like things like that. Like Rice does need a rest at some point.
Yeah.
Norgard, 11.6 million euros. See ya. Rice, no. What are we going to say? Marino, 32 million euros.
Ooh, the thing is, Marino, I think you, if you went out into the market and tried to sell him, I think he is such an enigma, and he's worked at Arsenal in that kind of like slightly fluid role. I think other clubs would struggle to identify where they're going to put him. It works for us, and it's worked in our system, almost out of luck. No, that's doing Arteta a disservice, but. You know, when he was brought in, it wasn't split centre forward.
You can't tell me. I mean? Yeah, you can't tell me that was the plan.
It wasn't like, do you know what? Arteta had this long-term plan, and that when we failed to sign a striker in January 2025, and everyone gets injured, this is what we bought him for. Yeah. I think you'd struggle to kind of pitch him to other clubs, if that makes sense.
Yes. I think you do it.
But possibly.
At 30.
Yeah.
He's 30 now. Again, as you said,
he's dead.
Basically dead.
He's basically dead. He's on a Zimmer frame, basically.
Havertz, 75 million euros.
No, because the price you'd need to get a similar profile is way higher than that. So, nope.
Odegaard, 35 million euros.
Again, no, because I think what Odegaard offers, although I think there are lots of people in that market who do a kind of Odegaard job, you're not getting them for anywhere near that money. Double it and more.
Eze, 69.3 million euros. There's your answer. Waneri, free. No. Fabio Vieira, 35 million. So yeah, Saka free. No. Madueke, 56 million euros.
See, the Madueke issue is when, and I guess it's a kind of unique thing, but someone like Rashford, I know they're different sides of the pitch, whatever, but in terms of the price, I think Rashford's being offered at like 25, 30 mil. That's when you're like, I could get an established, maybe slightly older winger to play there. I don't know. I don't know, Madueke.
It's tough,
Do
man.
56 million for him?
56 million euros.
Wow, that's higher than I thought. That's higher than I remember.
I think a lot of this depends on Dalman and Waneri. If you feel that they're enough. But I think you then don't have that. Like, he's very dynamic, Madueke. I'm going to say something extremely pause-worthy. His body is amazing. Like, his physique, Madueke, is incredible. And we don't really have loads of those in the squad. Like, he's so springy. Like, he's a proper athlete. I would go, speak to me next summer.
Yeah.
I think that's my feeling with Madueke.
Another season, you reckon? Yeah.
Give me another year.
Hone his craft a bit.
Like that goal against Club Brugge, like, we don't really have that in the team. It's just about consistency now. And not running off the end of the pitch, mate. Martinelli, 7.1 million. No. Trossard, 24 million euros.
Ooh.
With a year left on the deal?
Yeah.
32? Surely.
Yeah,
Surely.
yeah.
Gabriel Jesus, 52.2 million euros.
Please.
Victor Gyokeres, 65.8 million euros.
No.
People are going to be... No. People are going to be shocked. I don't think so.
No.
I think it...
What do you... Say you let him go. Who are we getting in return for that?
I think if there's like a clear... Like, if Krupi is available for like 100 mil and you have that on the table from Atletico, I think you do it.
Yeah.
That said, though... No, because Krupi is a real finisher.
But then you'd have to be like, right, we need to get rid of Martinelli. We need to get rid of Trossard to plug that gap in terms of funds. Then we've got a problem.
Yeah. It's one of those where it's like it could be a late window kind of opportunity type thing. But yeah, Gyokeres, like, people will be shocked. I've sort of grown to like him more than I thought I would because of his endeavour and the fact that he did improve a lot.
Yeah, I think we've all got a bit of, certainly I've allowed myself to have a bit of an emotional love towards him. I think especially when he came into the club, clearly desperate to join us as well, which I like. Julian Alvarez, you could learn a thing or two. If you want to come to Arsenal, you start acting like it. And if you don't want you either. But as you said, the endeavour, the working hard, it must have been really tough as well. Really, really tough. Yeah. Like, coming to the Premier League for the first time, clearly not working. Yeah. Like, we never jeered him at the Emirates. That's way too far. But there was a bit of like kind of ironic clapping when he did the basics right, which is not good for your confidence. And then fast forward to where he finished. I'm so happy to see him doing his little whistling thing with the Premier League trophy. Like, he has come on a lot, and you can just... I've put my stocks in the same improvement happening again. Yeah, which would be probably to really... Like, if he improved the same again, which is possible, I think he'd be a really good player. Well, he already is a really good player, but that would be... I remember being at a Champions League game and someone clapped a 5-yard pass, and I was like, we can't. Yeah. We can't be doing that. So it's about holding up the mirror and being honest, which I think ultimately he gets. There's other players in the squad who I won't name who I think would get a little bit like, okay then. I think he's been a bit like, no, I actually do need to improve. Yeah. Which I rate, to be honest. Yeah. There you go. Sell them all. Victor stays. I watched an interview with Juliette Slot yesterday. Our glorious leader.
Who you know?
That would be pushing it.
Okay.
That would be pushing it. So Juliet Slot was formerly the Chief Commercial Officer, I believe, at Ascot. So the racing, Ascot Racing.
Oh, really?
That's where she came. She was there for a long time. And
I see that for her, actually, yeah.
Loves horse racing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of her family background as well. And I worked for a company who we did consulting. So it's called Two Circles, big sports agency, brilliant company. And Ascot were one of our clients. And I was on that account. And so I had a few meetings that Juliet was in. She is a formidable leader. I see really, that. Like, so impressive. To the extent where I was probably early 20s when I was part of that project group, terrified of her. And she did not suffer fools gladly in exactly the type of way that you want at this football club. When it was announced, I was like, I can think of nobody better.
Really?
Genuinely, because she has, I think she's worked in sports and sports marketing. Before Ascot, I think she worked at an agency. So she's got multi-sport background. When she took over at Ascot, it was like a kind of, we make all our money from Royal Ascot and the rest of the year, we don't really care. Now it's like probably one of the biggest and most consistent earners. You think about how big Royal Ascot is, it never used to be like that. So she's kind of done all of that work. She's also then brought some of the insights that she learned at Ascot to Arsenal and applied them to the women's game. So things like, as simple as things like group bookings. Yes. So you can buy a big group booking for the women's game, which is perfect for the kind of audience that they're targeting. Some of the deals that she's brought in as well, like some of the biggest brands in the world, Coca-Cola, et cetera, So again, I can't say I know her. I worked on this project at Ascot and she was the head of Ascot there and we would present to her. I was terrified of her, but in that way where you're like, you are so impressive. Yes. I'm just a tiny little pea. Yeah. And everything I do is never, ever going to be good enough for you. And to be fair, I was not very good at my job there. So I'm pretty sure she was like, this girl has no idea what she's talking about.
Do you think she'd recognise you?
I don't think so. It's been, God, years and years, but she's also one of those people that I think would, if I said we know each other, she would go, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
She wouldn't, but I think,
and how's the family?
How's the family? Yeah. As I said, I couldn't think of anyone better for the job that she at Arsenal, and I think the job that she's done in terms of how good we look, brand sponsorship. And that's really important for, we all kind of take the piss a bit about merch, right? We all, they drop a new thing of merch, but it does contribute to the connection between the fans and the club, because a really good understanding of what we as fans want translates into the right brands. So Asahi, I think, brilliant, Guinness, etc. The right collaborations with
Aries.
Exactly. Massive deal with Adidas. We're clearly Adidas's favourites. I'm sorry, we just are. All of that comes from punchy commercial targets, like just executed flawlessly. So I think whatever they're doing there is working.
It's hard to assess, isn't it? But on the surface, she's done an incredible job. And you're so right, in this interview, you get this sense of a real, like, she's on it. She's on it, man. And you want that. And she's super, super impressive. It's a really good interview. She talks a lot about like what they're talking about internally. It's on this Google account and it has 177,000 views and 4 comments.
Wow.
I'm like,
bots?
Something's gone wrong here.
Wouldn't happen here, would it?
Me paying for views?
No.
No. Never do that.
No. I mean the people in the comments are vocal.
Let me tell you. Yeah, maybe it's just a load of like passive business people who don't comment on YouTube, but I doubt it.
What are you doing apart from writing great talk, Juliet? Thank you. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't inspire debate in the same way.
True.
It's a bit Stephen Bartlett. It's a bit,
It's a bit
it's a bit Mark Corrigan, Business Secrets of the Pharaohs.
Yeah, I hear it. But yeah, no, she's done an amazing job. And I kind of, you were sort of talking about that. I kind of want to ask you about like this, because I've written a video for today on this idea of like Arsenal in the future and what we're trying to be. And I just have this thing about us as a brand, but also where I think the financial potential still in the game. And I think people don't quite realise. So in 23, there's Athletic did an article about this. 23-24 was the first time that international broadcast overtook domestic broadcast. And I didn't know that until I looked into it. I was like, oh, and it's doing that.
Isn't the price that's paid for the rights?
The price that's paid across all international. Obviously, it's a much bigger market, but like, that's quite a significant moment, I think. So the financial potential of the international broadcast plus the domestic broadcast with like, Netflix and Warner Brothers, Paramount buying Warner Brothers and TNT and all that sort of, there's a lot of movement in that market. So I think Sky might be challenged. So the financial potential, the branding potential, and what we could be as a club in terms of like long term, turning from a really, really good football club to that kind of Real Madrid, Bayern Munich institution. Mm-hmm. And I want to get your take on this because I think some fans have a bit of a like, ooh, with that. They don't want to be called a brand. They don't want to be like, we're a football club. And I get that. But in this interview, Juliet Slot talks a lot about like, the football comes first. Winning comes first. If you win, this is why back in 2020, do you remember that tweet that was like, did you know retro clothing brand Arsenal also have a football club?
Yeah. Spot on.
It's such good satire because it's so true. And it's like, it's just, and that's why I remember it. People used to quote Shakespeare. No, you remember tweets, but it's so good, right? Yeah. And it's like that. Like I'm so open. If we put the football first to this idea of expanding and Arsenal being a lifestyle, a community, having a basketball team, like being, using the stadium in different ways. Like why? I think we limit ourselves a little bit, and we talk all about the ambition on the pitch, which is obviously we need to keep. But I think I see, and I think Juliet sees, Mrs. Slot sees, so much potential in this brand because we are cool. Like Arsenal are the coolest brand, like football club in the UK, in my opinion. They might not be the biggest. I think they're the coolest. Yeah. Thoughts?
Yeah. So I think some of the backlash against this is, if you compare Arsenal to the likes of Real Madrid to me are a little bit soulless, right? I don't see them in the same way that I see Arsenal because our DNA is all about North London, right? But I think the way that the club have done it so well is kept that, and then translated that into the rest of the world. Yeah. It's like, this is our home. We want you all to be a part of North London, but we recognise that we can't transplant North London around the world. So we want you to bring wherever you're watching from to this club. I think the commercial aspect of it is, again, another reason why some of the brand deals that have been done are global sponsorships. That's why you're able to attract the likes of Coca-Cola. It's because we have this massive global following as well. And I have really good trust in the club not selling out, if that makes sense. Like, we're not just going to be one of those clubs that partners with whoever. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal have made some questionable decisions about who they partner with.
And continue to do so.
And will continue to do so, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, football is full of all these, oh, by the way, this person is, et cetera, et cetera. But I think what excites me is I genuinely believe that the club have worked out what works, which is, this is a North London club, North London is home, North London is community. However, that can actually be translated into wherever you are in the world, basically.
I think you're bang on. And I think that sort of North London to the world thing, messaging has really got through. But it's why I liked this interview, even though she is quite forthright. She's very, very clear that the football comes, a winning culture comes first, and bringing North London to the world is the thing, which is, as you say, especially with these owners and with this, where we are, I trust that they're going to make those decisions. Yeah. I trust that, like, it is going to be rooted. And
they get it. I think when Josh Kroenke went by on the bus, because we established earlier that we were standing opposite each other, basically, crazy. At the parade, he was giving it the fist bumps. Like, he loves it. He gets it. And even if I'm going to be super cynical and he doesn't really get it, but you're doing a very good impression of understanding what this club means to people, understanding what North London means to people, etc. So that, for me, massively differentiates us from the likes of, again, I can't say, I'm not from Madrid, so I can't say how that feels to them. But when you have an owner like PSG's owner, they don't care.
No.
They're not about bringing Paris to the world. They're about slapping a PSG store on every street in every major city because it's cash money, whereas Arsenal won't do that. Yeah. And I believe that they're the right kind of custodians of the brand.
Yeah. And she spoke a lot about, I keep talking about this interview, but she spoke about this. I think you should listen to it. It's really, really good. She spoke a lot about, like,
I'll leave a comment.
Please do. Great. Really, really enjoyed listening to this, Juliet. All the best, Laura. She spoke a lot about, like, learning and speaking about, the guy kind of asked her at one point, like, what have you learned? And she's like, when we're when it feels like we're trying to sell people stuff too much, people push back, and we're aware of that, and we don't want to do that. And they have this phrase, I think it's like, our job is to connect the supporters 365, beyond the pitch, where they want, when they want, how they want, or something along those lines. It's very kind of, corporate talk.
I was going to say, I'm sure I've heard a pitch deck with that on from,
it's very corporate
from an agency,
talk.
Yeah. It
But
works though.
she also keeps correcting herself from calling people customers to supporters. Like she keeps going, and our customers, well, our supporters. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But like, she's a branding person. I get it. It's cool. Like, as long as Mikel doesn't call us that, it's fine. Declan starts going, well, I just want to thank our customers, our fans.
How good were the customers today? Were the customers the 12th man today?
Got to clap the customers today. Yeah, but as long as that doesn't start happening, I'm kind of fine with it. I really liked that I do, and it's that thing you think everyone thinks their club is special, but I just can't imagine Real Madrid speaking in that way, recognizing that. And frankly, the results have been amazing. And I just see so much potential in this football club to be in that Bayern and Real category, but in a different way, as you say. Yeah,
and I think that's why, who was it, wrote a really brilliant article about the kind of Arsenal hate, and we've talked about this extensively. It might have been Miguel Delaney, about after the Champions League final, because the narrative here was that football had been saved. Football has been saved
by a petrochemical state.
Exactly, though. That's the point he was making. It was like, actually, the inverse has happened. Yeah. And part of the reason that I think it's so easy to dismiss PSG and Real Madrid if they're your rivals, because they don't have a DNA that's as loud and proud and insufferable and unapologetic as ours is. That's not a victory for football. Yeah. And so the bigger that Arsenal can come by growing this way, the better, basically, rather than being bought by. And let's be real here. The Cronkies are not innocent rags to riches bastions of the people. They're billionaires who have made their money in a capitalist society. Yeah. That's a far cry from a state. Do you know what I mean? Like when people are like, but the Cronkies. No. The Cronkies are not a royal family from.
They're not murdering journalists.
Right. Yeah.
Put it that way.
Exactly.
And leave it there.
Say no more.
I wanted to ask you, Laura, to close this off, because I thought you were the perfect person to do this. I actually think you working with Juliet, I'm not joking, if Juliet's was like some kind of fan ambassador club branding thing, I think you'd be great, genuinely.
I'd still be too scared of her.
Yeah, you need to change that.
I need to grow up her, I think.
Okay, I've got some questions.
Okay.
We need 3. Juliet's come to you.
Oh, gosh. Right.
She's asking for 3 official Arsenal brand ambassadors.
Ooh.
Ian Wright's one.
Right.
We're accepting Ian Wright as one. That happens. So we're basically building the team around Ian Wright.
Sort of brand ambassadors. Talk to me more about the
people
role.
Like people who, in the set, I think Mika Richards is a Man City brand ambassador. It's like people who embody the values of Arsenal, people who are connected to the club.
Can I throw in a really rogue name?
Go on.
Tim Cahill. Come to the front, Tim Cahill.
Front and centre.
Because he has done nothing but defend Arteta. Yeah. Defend the project. Yeah. I saw him interviewed, I don't know whether it's a recent one, but it was doing the rounds, where he said Arteta was the most competitive player he'd ever played against. Yeah, love that. And that in training at Everton, they had to be separated.
He's at the parade.
Right.
We're Mavropanos as well.
Yeah, you can come. No, genuinely, Tim Cahill. Who else? Right, and probably need a woman. Good to have women around occasionally.
I would say women.
Good to have a woman.
I'd put you up there.
I wasn't aware that was an option.
I think
I'd throw myself
genuinely
in there.
as
brand
like
ambassador.
A fan. I think brand ambassador.
Brand ambassador. No, I'm trying to think of our celebrity following who have all
Anne
crawled
Hathaway?
out.
Maybe it should be Anne Hathaway. Ian Wright, Tim Cahill, and Anne Hathaway.
What a lineup!
What a little trio.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Okay, Juliet. There you go.
Arsenal open a fast food chain. Oh. What's the signature dish?
Wow.
Or drink.
Okay.
And you can't make a bottle joke.
Ooh, okay. Right. What embodies Arsenal as food? I think it would have to be something classic, but with a bit of a modern twist. Right. So what it's going to be is something slow cooked, because we trust the process. Maybe something like something that is kind of batch cooked, big slow cooked stew or something.
Pulled pork?
That's better. That
feels quite Arsenal somehow.
Feels quite 2013 though, pulled pork, won't lie to you.
It does.
Feels
like
like
quite Turtle Bay, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out Turtle Bay.
Yeah.
I got their door policy for their entire chain changed.
Why?
I turned up to their I was quite you'll be shocked at this. I'm 28 now. I was quite an officious teenager.
Were you?
Can you imagine?
I'm shocked.
I once got a complaint upheld by yellow buses for a rude bus driver, and I want to punch myself.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
He was rude, but he was.
Did you have to go to that length?
Did I have to go to that length?
Did you send a strongly worded email?
I sent a strongly. Or blame my mother. Blame my mother.
Sorry, Turtle Bay.
I turned up with a citizen card because I didn't have a driving license.
Right.
I'm not going to make a joke.
Yeah.
Didn't have a driving license. Basically, what gets you into any venue is not necessarily it being a passport or a driving license. It's the pass logo. If you see the pass logo, that is
you have to accept it.
Or was at the time enough. And a citizen card is valid ID, but the guy on the door said it wasn't.
Right.
So I had to walk back home half an hour to go and get my passport, take my passport out on a night out, and go back to Turtle Bay. And I showed the guy on the door, and I emailed and got their policy changed. I think if you were to sum me up as a child, that was it. I can't believe I just told that story.
Yeah,
that was. I haven't told anyone that. I don't think. It's just been unlocked.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I think what we need is the tip of you going, I think Arsenal, we're really cool, followed by that story.
Yeah, I
think that'd be important. Yeah, so
I think pulled pork
something. And
pulled pork with like a bun or something.
Yeah, something kind of classic, bit trust the processy. I'm sure there's people in the comments will be screaming about a really obvious one we've missed there, but I can't think of it. Yeah.
Two more. Arsenal get cancelled for a toy they've put out in a toy store. What is it? It's got to be Calafiori related. There's some kind of...
Yeah, I was going to go Hincapie's bum. Do you know what I mean?
Like a squeegee toy.
Yeah, or it's a kind of like a Beanie Baby Jellycat version of him, but they've kind of put in a little bit where you could pull his shorts down.
Yes.
And parents complain.
It's a Win the Dog plushie that you like, and it's all gone. That some guy in the factory thought it was funny to like put some stuff in. You pull it, and normally it woofs. Yeah. But at some point, it
makes that porn sound.
It does. Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Too easy. Yeah, okay,
too easy.
Good. Yeah, very nice.
Great. Final one. Arsenal draft in an American PR company with no knowledge of soccer, and they do a horrible rebrand of the crest.
Oh,
what have they done?
What have they done?
I think they've gone for a face.
Okay.
And the cannon sort of and it's like a morph of like Saka. It's like a terrible AI morph.
Nice.
Of loads of like Wenger, Arteta, Saka.
Do you remember Animorphs?
Yes.
Yeah, that.
With like the cannon in the eyes or something like that.
Nice. I think most American franchises have an animal associated with them or a kind of thing. I think they would invent something for us. So instead of the cannon, they'd be like the North London bumblebees. And they would just pick something that they think best.
Yeah.
Which would be... What would we be if we were an animal? There's quite a few that are taken already. Like lions is too...
I'm just remembering some bad dates I've been on where I've been asked similar questions.
Kangaroos, quokkas, alligators...
What would we be?
What would
like
we be?
A pigeon, probably. I mean, it's London.
Yeah. Rat.
The North London pigeons.
Rats. London rats, basically.
Yeah.
London rats got a bit of a...
London rats is quite...
London rats quite nice.
The Rat Pack.
Yeah.
Then we could be the rat... That could be our name, the Rat Pack, instead of...
Yeah.
Thoughts on Gooners, by the way? I think keep it. It's funny.
I think it's fine. In British English, we don't use that as what Americans do, so it's fine.
Laura, it's always a pleasure. To have you on The Knockabout.
Thanks for having me.
People must know where to find you, but if they don't, where can... Are you Laura... Are you Laura Kirk Francis or Laura Kirk?
So my legal name is Laura Kirk.
Okay.
Married name is Laura Kirk Francis. I just can't be bothered to do the actual changing of it because it would mean a new passport, a new driving license,
right?
A new, statement on all my. I can't be asked.
Can't be asked.
And it's been 3 years now.
Okay.
So legally, it's Laura Kirk, but I'm trying to phase that out. So
to become Laura Kirk Francis.
Laura Kirk Francis.
So is your like online persona Laura Kirk Francis, but you're really Laura
Correct.
Kirk?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Laura Kirk to my friends and family.
Wow.
No, actually, to them, I'm Laura Kirk Francis. You can find me on Instagram, Laura Kirk Francis, Twitter, Laura Kirk 12. This is where the problem is.
This is the issue.
But yeah, that's
God,
where you can
work
find me.
on the branding.
Yeah, God, we
if you're going to be the brand ambassador,
I know we need to work on my own brand before I start introducing London Rats to Arsenal, the Rat Pack.
I said this last time. I love your content. Like genuinely, you're one of the most unique content creators out there, and I mean that in a positive. You're so unique.
You're very special.
It's very. That's what my mum would be like. It's very interesting.
It's interesting. Yeah. That's what I when I was at uni. If you'd come up with a point in like a tuition or something, one of my professors used to go, interesting. He was French and he was an absolute prick. He would just look at you as interesting. Okay, moving on. Right, okay. Thank you.
Au revoir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. And thanks. I thought you were going to do it. Thanks for keeping it Arsenal. I thought you'd do the...
Sorry, messed that up, didn't I?
Should have warned you.
Sorry. Yeah, team me up next time.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Only an hour after we said we finished, but thank you.
No, we don't have proper jobs. I've got nowhere to be.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. This was one kind of queue the ladies thoroughly enjoyed.
Electrifying.